So I have this Extron video matrix switch that I want to maybe potentially integrate into my VHS capture setup, because constantly swapping all the composite video cables to route things through the different VCRs and my video synthesizers and stuff is a nightmare. And this glorious thing has 64 inputs and 64 outputs. Oh, and those clicky switches are, well, that one's not very clicky. There we go. They're so satisfying. However, I've never turned it on. It's been in my attic for a while. It's missing a button, yes. One of the caps was not present. So I don't even know if it works. It may need firmware software that I don't have access to, and it has 2 fans here that are likely to be loud as hell. So I want to take a look and see if it is loud as hell, and then try to figure out how we might route this baby. If it is loud, we can swap I don't know what this patch is. If it is loud, we can swap the fans to some Noctuas. I need to order them though. It's got network control if I want to network control my setup. Is it SDI? So it is composite video. It's just through BNC connectors. So like I have adapters over here in the retro setup. The same thing that I use on like my BVM for RGB and things like that. And theoretically you could run component or RGB or S-video through it because you could just route the different outputs to go at the same time and place. So like separate chroma and luma and all that. Or just run the separate RGB YPBPRs. But you just set that on there. Oh, that's a Terminator. That's not a RCA adapter. Don't need a 75 ohm Terminator on there. That's for my PVM. Or BVM. These bad boys. Prepare for some tripping breakers. I really hope not. So you just slap these little guys on there, get composite video. The only problem is there's no audio for this. So like, I would have to route audio through the existing inputs. So I could say like, VCR, mixer, tape, camera, something like that, and then attach the stereo audio with these as well. And then have to just dedicated route the thing. But I don't know how exactly you map the inputs and outputs without the software. So getting a hold of the firmware, I'm told, can be tricky. Hopefully I can get some help in that. My concern is these fans being super loud. So I'm gonna see if we have anywhere we can plug this up real quick and get a gauge for the sound. I'm actually gonna take, what does this power lead go to? Can this reach? All right, I have a power lead. We're gonna see what happens when I plug this in. Oh, it clicked. Okay, we got lights. It is quiet. It is not loud. As someone who grew up with a non-Sony CRT, I appreciate that people like PVMs, but the aperture grill style of CRT doesn't do it for my style. No, I am a shadow mask guy myself. I have a big BVM just because it was the opportunity of a lifetime and I wanted it. Oh, you can actually choose audio or video on the front. I didn't even see that. So, we're not getting any, holy shit. Okay, we're gonna play, but yeah, like I did not grow up with any fancy or Sony CRTs either, so shadow mask is generally my preference. I did not, like thick, juicy scan lines is not something I saw as a kid. I don't understand how people have nostalgia for that when theoretically no one as a kid was seeing thick, juicy scan lines. I guess if you were rich, maybe the fancy Sony did, but nothing I ever had access to. All right, so if we choose video and say signal 1, for example, you can see here, input 1 is routing to output. You can barely see that because of the light, but it lights up to indicate that signal 1 is running to 4, 5, 6, and 7. And I can say input 2, it's not routed to anything, so I can start selecting them. And then hit enter. And then select 2, it runs to, oh! So I can just reroute this as I go. So I can say, all right, input 1, I just want to run to output 1. Enter. Input 1, turn off output 4, enter. So now input 1 runs to 2. Output 2, that's a 2, and not those, enter. Output 3, yo! Sick. Mestra Zima rating with a party of 9 as I'm nerding out about a composite video matrix like a nerd. Thank you for the raid. What up? Thank you for stopping by. We're doing lots of weird stuff around the studio here. This thing easily costs like 10 grand back in the 90s or early 2000s. Let's see what the data is on it. This thing cost me absolutely nothing, came from a government surplus sale forever ago. Do we have a date on it? I don't know that we do. But I mean, this is the stuff you would put in schools or churches or big businesses and cost a ton of money, and you probably had a technician come out and set it up for you. Oh, there's schematics on the top and the bottom. I do not see a date on it, however. Tokyo, I got places. Yeah, I don't see a year. That's unfortunate. I'd love to know what year this was made. That's okay. But yeah, it's super quiet right now, so hopefully... I think this thing is like blowing out dust because suddenly everything smells really dusty. It could just be in my nose, but these fans are dead silent. So I'm gonna assume it works fine, which means we can try to route it. I don't have a ton of spare composite cables. I need to order just like a bundle of short composite cables or something, but that means we could try to route it in the VHS capture setup here. I'm probably gonna do that off camera because that's not gonna be very interesting to watch, and it's gonna be tedious, and I might not have enough cables, but long term, this switcher is gonna be incredible. And the fact that it seems like I can easily route the inputs and outputs without like software means I shouldn't have any problem running it. Like the cool part here is that I'm literally just pressing buttons. Like I say input 1, I want it to go to input 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then hit enter. I don't even have to switch inputs because it's what they're always routing to. So then anything coming in input 1 is gonna go to those outputs. And I can change it on the fly on the front of it. So the only thing is I kind of want to install a 19-inch rack here underneath my desk, but I think I'm gonna run my legs into it too much, and that's not gonna work out. And so I gotta figure out how to stack all this stuff more effectively.